Welcome back, guys. We're gonna do it today. We're gonna finish the upper city after so long. It's gonna be great. So we've got three main things to do today. I want to finish up doing the interiors, especially for the two big buildings. I want to connect up the redstone to the gate, and I want to build the gate. So this building is the library. It's going to be very empty inside. I have not done anything yet. I haven't even connected up the two different sections. I want there to be a lot of empty bookshelves because I think that the librarian would want to save the books when they were leaving, whereas the High Mage kept all their books in their tower because they weren't ever planning on leaving the island. You know, they were trying to save it. They needed all of their stuff there until the point where they turned into the bad guys that you have to fight, pillagers, if we want to get Minecrafty. But the librarian, or probably more than one because it's a big building, wanted to keep the most important books safe, so I think they would have kept it with them. I think even though this area is supposed to be abandoned, the library needs to have a little bit more, and the other place too, the tavern, will need to have a little bit more decorations so that it's set apart from the other buildings. Oh, we could put in some pictures, some of the paintings. That would be fun, especially now that we have all of the new ones, which I haven't used that much in my builds yet. So that would be very exciting. We can use a carpet to help fill out the space, and we can use some wool blocks with the carpet so that it's a little bit more interesting to look at and it's got some layers. It's a little too spotty. Oh well, that'll have to do. Maybe a dead bush, since obviously nobody's been around to water the poor thing. A little bit of tight corners, but that's okay. I could add in a cartography table, but I feel like that would be a fun thing to put in the castle. It could have a map room with the whole island on it. But we can put in a jukebox. Why not? I suppose if you're trying to read and study, a jukebox wouldn't be ideal. I don't know what ones to put. We're just gonna grab some random ones. I feel like those are some weird options. We'll add in pig step too. I really want to put something under the paintings to be like little labels with the title and the artist's name, but I'm not sure what to use. The buttons aren't really what I'd want. I want them to be up a little bit more. I don't want to use signs because those are really big, and I don't think that would work. And it's okay, I guess the buttons work okay for the bigger paintings, but they don't make that much sense in the little paintings. So maybe I'll have to scrap that idea, especially since I don't want the adventurer to spend tons of time thinking one of these buttons does something, even though the buttons don't do anything. All right, I think that finishes off our library. It feels abandoned, but hopefully it's still interesting enough to look at. We've got lots of books, but no actual books. We have a jukebox, so there's at least one fun interactive element in here. Though I suppose maybe the player would want a little bit more of a reward than a jukebox and some music discs. All right, I'm back in the library because I had an idea. In both of the big buildings, the library that we're in now and the tavern, I think it would be fun to incorporate more of these target blocks. And I was thinking I could put torches inside this one because that way when you're wandering around and there's monsters spawning because it's dark, you can light, or the adventurer rather, can light up some of the areas they want to like spend more time in, and then they'll be safe. The only thing is I need to make sure you can't get in here, and you can. All right, we're putting it up here because then you can't reach it except with a bow or that's not good, or a wind charge. So after I fix this, it'll be fine. And maybe I'll also put in torches in the tavern because there's only 7 in here. And I don't want to go overboard. All right, yay! I'm really happy with that idea. Just gotta move these over a little bit more. Adding this in was so perfect because it gives you motivation to go out and explore. Well, it gives you a reward if you go out and explore. And that way I can incorporate those target blocks into the game a little bit more, which ties everything together better. All right, so now we're going to work on this tavern. I think I'm gonna lower the floor one, and that way it'll be a little cozy when you get inside. So I've been thinking about how I didn't want people to find these areas full of life, but I still wanted them to be decorated. And I think the solution to this, rather than filling it up with a bunch of things, right, because it's supposed to look abandoned, is to make the architecture more interesting. And now I'd like to think that the architecture is interesting, but the interiors especially, that becomes a much bigger part of it. Maybe it would be fun to put in a few potion ingredients in this area. Even though you can't make potions here, you could at least get some things you might need. That'll be fine. You know, generally interiors isn't my favorite part, but sometimes they can be a lot of fun, and I really love doing like tavern interiors. Let's see if we can add some windows on these things so it's not so dreary. I don't know what's symmetrical. We'll have to look at it. It looks like a face. There we go. Now it's not so sad looking. Then we have to decide where we want to add in the target block, because I'd like it to be maybe not necessarily at the top this time, because we just did that, but also I don't want it to be right in here when you come in. And I don't think there's going to be enough happening that it'll really blend in too much. It'll probably be a pretty ordinary kind of a thing. Just a little booth there and a table here and maybe another table back in the corner. It doesn't have to be too big, I suppose. Then I guess we'll just do stairs for seats because everybody will understand. It's Minecraft. Oh, then we can put... Actually, that takes up all of their eating space. But that's okay because nobody's eating there anyway. People are just adventuring here, so it'll be fine. So I've got the upstairs rooms in the inn, tavern, place, combo. I'm sure it has a name. Anyway, mostly figured out. The wall's going to be here, and they're going to be kind of funky shaped, but you know, there's just not that much space to make rooms. And so I have 3, and that's fine, but I have this space back here, which I thought would be fun to make into a room, because I already put a sort of office corner here. So I don't really need another one. And I don't want to put in too many decorations, because then it defeats the purpose of finding different things while you're exploring. And, you know, then it won't feel so abandoned. So I thought I could add the room, and since there's not much space, I could use these trapdoors. But the problem with these trapdoors is that then it's spruce, and that works fine when it's not in the, you know, these colors, and when it's in the other color scheme, once the adventurer, has restored it. So I don't know if we just say, it's fine, because I don't think the other trapdoors would really make much sense. I just think it would look weird. Like, that doesn't look like a wall. Or I could just leave it and not have it be anything, and that would be fine, and I can just make this room bump out a little bit bigger, and it'd be sort of like a suite. I suppose I could do that because there's not actually going to be anything, but I was also excited about this because then it doesn't interfere with the window too much, which is the other problem I've had, because there's so many windows and all over the place, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's what happens when you put the windows in on the exterior before you build the interior. That's fine. Notes for next time. Okay, I decided I want to hide it up here anyway, because I just don't know where else to put it that wouldn't be too easy or too noticeable right away. So it's up there, so they'll get some more torches if they notice, and all the rooms are done. I decided to put candles in them instead of lanterns because I don't want it to be too bright, and then I wanted the person renting the room to be able to have control over whether it was lit or not. And I suppose if we're pretending with all sorts of other things in Minecraft, you can also pretend that the lanterns work. And you can put those on and off. And then I also put in paintings because I thought weird hotel art. Anyway, I was pretty excited about that. So all I have to do is this corner. And then once I'm finished with that, I think I'm going to go around and add in the stories that we talked about last time to a couple of the different houses and make sure the interiors are all sorted in all of these, and then we're going to work on the gate, which I think will be fun, but I probably won't show too much of that because it's just, I have to take the houses out too. I keep forgetting about that. The gate's just going to be pretty much the same thing as this one, except you're not going to have to find... That doesn't work anymore. Does it work if I press it from this side? Oh wait, I know why. Because this isn't here. Yay! Okay. My point was I'm going to have it be the same because I think it'll make sense for two gates to be designed the same way in the same city. And because I already know how to do all of this, so we're just going to take this design and put it over here, except instead of this part of it missing, you're just going to need to get the redstone signal reversed the correct way. It'll all make sense. It'll all work out. So I'll meet you back once the gate is in place and we can start working on the redstone. We have our gate implemented, the same format that is over there somewhere. And then I added in these little bits because otherwise there'd just be a hole in the wall and that would be a little awkward. So I was thinking that we need to put in some towers to make a little bit more of a gatehouse because the one over here sticks out a little bit, so it's a little bit different, but this one's going into the castle, so I think it needs to be a little bit more grand. So we're going to jump into a time lapse and build up this area so it's a little bit fancier. After a very long time of fixing and breaking, well, breaking first, then fixing, then breaking again, then fixing the gate while trying to figure out how to get the redstone to work, I have figured out what I am going to do. And I will put the gate design, which is by Mysticat, the link to it in the description so that you can also make the gate because it's really cool, especially when you can build it once and then you don't have to mess around with it for other purposes. But what we are going to do, it's very dark so you can't really see, but this is on, and so what I need to happen is for this not to work, the gate not to work when this redstone is live, so that you have to flip all of the different levers, and I can do that by connecting this redstone up to here. So in order for this to work, I need this to be open, because if I put it on, now it won't work. Once the redstone is off, it'll work again just fine. I'm going to connect up the redstone, and then I think we will be done with the upper city. We did it. I have a broken gate, and I'm so excited because it has taken me forever to get this done. I press the button, and nothing happens, which is excellent. And then, once the person has flipped all of the different levers, and this redstone line goes dark, then it will be able to work. And it'll work just fine. Nothing will be broken. I just need to have this in the up position. Okay, perfect. It's done. It's done. I'm so excited. The only thing I'm worried about is that I don't know how clear it is that you need to flip all of the levers. So I might need to make a reference to that hidden somewhere near the gate so that the adventurer knows what they need to do. Because we had the clues in the lower city, so we'll need to have some sort of clue in the upper city. Something that references that there's 5 levers, because I would hate for somebody to be just walking around going, but I flipped all of them, and not knowing if they have 1 more they need to do or 12 more they need to do, and constantly having to come back and check. And I can just see that getting really frustrating. So, in the meantime, I will fix that, and then next video we'll move on to something else that is not in the upper city, and I'm very excited with how things are progressing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!